Kabila. It's just something worth remembering as we speak to our next guest as well, Okito Tongomo, who is a leader of the Congolese opposition diaspora, and he's in London for us. First of all, just your thoughts on what's actually happened today, regardless of who you support or who anyone supports. What does DRC do when it has two men who say they're president?
Thank you very much, Kamal. It's sounded a very complicated issue, and the way we see what is happening. I personally, especially the opposition and the diaspora, we have been viewing this issue as one of the most critical one for the future of our nation. It's a more difficult time in regard to the credibility of this election. Since day one, we saw this was a chaotic election. We have come to this another way of seeing opposition being divided in a time where they have won massively. 75% of the electorate in Congolese people have expressed them to see the regime change by supporting the opposition. Now the opposition have to work together to respect this value. And both candidates have to recognize that this is a critical time for the interests of the country. And one of them have to accept another one to give it a chance for the Congolese people, because this is the only way we're going to move forward.
I've actually had a viewer, Elizabeth, on Facebook asking me, is the court the final say in DRC, or could there be another challenge? I don't know if you know the answer to that or not, or do we have to move on from this decision?
We have to be fair on the system in Congo. The Constitutional Court is just the last one. There's no more any institution that can revoke this decision. At the moment speaking now, Mr. Tshisekedi is now being confirmed as the Congolese president. And we have also to recognize that, and we have to congratulate him for being the president of the Congo, while we still have some challenge to make sure that we want to see credible outcome of the election. But we have to come to a conclusion at the moment. Mr. Tshisekedi is now officially the elected Congolese president, while we know that this has not been credible election process, and the outcome of this election is still questionable. We still have a serious concern, as the European Union mentioned, we as a community as well, especially the Congolese and the diaspora, we still have a serious concern of those outcome of this election. But at the same time, we never recognized the process of the election from day one. We know this is not going to be a credible election, but we can see it as a moving for the value of democracy should be respected. And another issue which is really, to us, becoming very difficult to understand why the Congolese authority did not accept to collaborate with other African countries who requested a time for them to wait until they discuss with them before they publish those outcome of the election, because it has been a serious issue, people challenging those elections, and really credible outcomes should give more positive and support from Congolese people who have been victims of different tyranny and barbaric.
Do you feel that the shadow of Mr. Kabila, Joseph Kabila, is hanging over this, that there is a suggestion that he was closer to Mr. Tshisekedi than we might have thought?
But there's no evidence. We feel like anything in Congo is possible, but I don't have evidence to speculate on such very serious comment. Mr. Kabila had his own candidate who was called Mr. Shadari, and he lost the election. And at the moment, if he's going to have another deal with Mr. Tshisekedi, that will have to be an issue. We need more evidence to speak a little bit more on that one. But we have to move on. I think there's a number of issues here we have to see. The Congolese people have been waiting for the change for long, and this election has been delayed by the government for a long time. Mr. Kabila have to recognize now that there's a move for the Congolese people, and there's not only presidential elections being contested, even the outcome of the parliamentary election is still questionable. We got more than 350 parliament being appointed by Mr. Kabila. So the election commission has shown no credibility at all the issue we have in the Congo at the moment. 75% of the Congolese people voted against the Kabila's regime, and only the same people are going to vote above 75% for him to be parliament. So there has been a contradiction on all the aspects. But as a diaspora, we sit and we look for the future stability of the Congo, and especially Mr. Faluyu, who now we recognize him as being the president, but at the same time, we're expecting him to know this is not going to be easy job for him, while there's no credibility of the outcome, and the movement is not very stable for this future of his own government.
Is it? Okito Tongomo in London, thank you for joining us. Do appreciate your time and your thoughts.